Hey everyone, it's Chris here at SLE Equipment in Nashville, Tennessee. I have here a 8.5 by 20 black with blackout trim concession trailer. This trailer comes with an extended tongue, generator platform, 50 amp electrical package, fresh water tank, hot water heater, water pump, breaker panel, inverter, and fuse panel. It's sitting on top of two 5,200 pound axles. It does have liquid propane and fire suppression. It does have a 8-foot porch along with a concession window and pop-up counter. I'm going to be going over setting up and starting your trailer, also shutting your trailer down as well. We're going to start at the front with the 50 amp electrical package. You're going to come to the passenger side here. Before plugging in your cable, you want to make sure that the breaker system or generator is turned off. Once you've made sure that's off, you can then plug your cable in. It's pretty simple. You're just going to push in and twist to the right and then tighten up your collar. And then once you've done that, you can then turn on your generator or breaker system. Once you're done and you're ready to shut everything down, you're going to shut the generator or breaker system off before unplugging your power cable. So once you've turned off your systems, your power systems, you can then come over here, loosen your collar, push in and twist to the left, pull out, and store your cable in the V-nose. Speaking of the V-nose, this small hatch door opens up. This is in the inside of the V-nose right here. You have your hot water heater, water pump, breaker system, inverter, fuse panel, and 12-volt battery, along with a fresh water tank. You're going to see a series of 3 knobs right here. I'm mopped in here, so don't mind that. You're going to see a series of 3 knobs in here. This is for weatherization. You want to weatherize the trailer anytime that the temperature is going to be below 32 degrees or close to freezing. None of this is insulated, so it is susceptible to freezing when temperatures get low enough. So the way you're going to empty and weatherize your system is you're going to come over here and you're going to see this knob right here goes to your tank. This knob right here runs to an air nozzle fitting. This knob right here runs to a fitting that goes through your floor and out the underside of the trailer. So when you want to weatherize this, you want to drain the tank fully of its water. And the way you're going to do that, you'll see this runs to your tank. It's in line with the system, so it's on. You're going to trace it over here to the one that runs into the floor, and then you're going to turn that knob on like so. Once you've done that, you can then check under the trailer. As you can see, the tank is now draining. Once you've drained the entire tank, you can then come over here and turn this knob off and go to your tank knob right here and turn it off out of line with your system. Once you've done that, then you can go inside the trailer and open both hot and cold on your faucets. Once you've opened both hot and cold on your faucets, both dish and hand washing sinks, you're then going to take an air compressor below 30 psi and hook it up to this air nozzle fitting right here. Once you've hooked it up and you've made sure it's below 30 psi, you can then use this knob right here as a pressure regulator. You can just slowly twist it, and as you twist, you're going to hear the air whoosh through the system, running through your pipes, all the way through your water pump, hot water heater, and up into your faucet. I generally like to let it run at least 2 cycles of the air compressor to make sure that I've forced as much of the water out of my system as possible. Or you can monitor it. You can watch it on the inside of the trailer, and if nothing but air is coming out, you're good to go. Once you've done that and all the systems are cleaned out, you're going to see on top of your hot water heater, you have a small brass fitting with a lever on top. You're going to pull that lever up to drain your hot water heater. Your hot water heater is adjustable as well. It has a knob on the top. So right now I have it on max setting, which is about 130 degrees. But you can also adjust it down to 100 to 120 depending on your regulations. Once you've drained your hot water heater, come back over here and go ahead and turn your tank back on and turn your knob to your air fitting back out of line with the system. So now these two knobs are off, this knob is on. Coming over here to your city water fill box, you're gonna open this up. You're gonna see two orifices right here. The one to your left is just an opening. You can drop your hose in there and that fills your tank on the inside there. Once you're done, you can pop that on and you're good to go. If you're at an event that's providing water, you can hook up to this. Hooks up to a normal food grade water hose. Once you thread that in there, you'll have direct pressure from the city water. So you don't have to necessarily use your tank. But if you want to use hot water, I would suggest filling your tank so it fills your hot water heater and then hooking up here to have direct pressure for cold water. Depending on how often you're using your system, it's not a bad idea to throw some sanitizer tablets or some sort of bleach, food safe bleach of some sort, to keep any bacteria from festering within your pipes. Moving down here to your gray water or your waste, this is a 3-inch hose right here. You're gonna pop that off. You can get this 3-inch hose at any RV store or camping supply store. On the face of it, you do have a fitting for a 1-inch normal water hose. Once your 3-inch hose is connected and ran to the designated dumping spot, you're then gonna grab this lever right here to the right. And then you just let it pour out until it's empty. Once you're done, you can pop that cap back on, like so, and you're good to go. Moving down to the 5,200 pound axles, you're going to see here, there's a black grommet fitting, sitting over a grease fitting. When you pop that grommet out, you're going to see that grease fitting back there. Depending on how often you're driving the trailer or pulling the trailer, really depends on how often you should grease these axles. But if you're going to be pulling it pretty consistently, I would say once every 3 months, pop that off, get you a grease gun, fill that grease fitting up, and make sure that your axles are maintenanced. A little tip, if you're driving for a long time, you stop to get gas or something like that, while the gas is pumping, come over here and put your hand on this hub right here. If you feel any excessive heat coming off of it, go ahead and call a mechanic. You may have something rubbing or grinding on the inside of there, and to prevent any more damage, go ahead and get it to a mechanic as soon as possible. Coming to the back side of the trailer, you're going to step in. The gate is on the driver's side. This customer's asked for one propane tank, 100-pound propane tank. This tank does ship empty, so you will have to have it filled once you get it. The tank runs to a 900,000 BTU regulator, to a pressure knob right here. So this customer has requested to install their own equipment. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to demonstrate this like you have equipment in there, and that you're going to be starting up the trailer as normal with equipment. So before starting your gas, you want to make sure that the hood is on the inside and you have a concession window open. You also are going to have a carbon monoxide reader in there, and make sure that's plugged in, or at least has the battery in it so it's reading. Once you've done those three things on the inside of the trailer, you can then come outside to start your gas system. Also, make sure the equipment on the inside of the trailer is off as well. Once you've done those things, you can then step outside the trailer. You're going to come back here, and to turn your gas system on, you're going to turn the tank on. So just turn it to open. Once it's open, you're going to follow this all the way down to this blue knob. You're going to see this blue knob is in line with the system, so it is currently on. If it's out of line with the system, it is off. So we've turned our tank on. Now we've come to this knob, we see that it's off. We're going to turn it on. Once we've turned that on, you should hear an initial whoosh. If you hear a continuous run of gas, go ahead and shut the system off and call your local gas company and have them come inspect it. Due to regulations, we do have to run the piping for the gas system underneath the trailer. So it is susceptible to bumps, smacks, cracks, dings, any of that stuff that you would get off pulling a trailer down the road. So once you've turned this blue knob in line with the system, you'll hear an initial whoosh of gas. Any continuous run of gas, stop what you're doing, cut your system off, and call your local gas company. So you've got it on, you heard your whoosh, now it's running, no problems on the outside. I would let the trailer sit for about 5 minutes before entering, 5 to 10 minutes. Let the carbon monoxide reader do its thing. It does beep, but it's not alarming. If you hear the alarming beep, then go ahead and step outside the trailer, or stay outside the trailer. If you hear the alarming beep, go ahead and shut off your gas system, call your local gas company. Walking in the trailer. Oh, sorry. When you're shutting the system down, depending on the equipment you have, again, shut all your equipment off. Once you know your equipment is off, you can then step outside the trailer, turn this knob out of line with the system, and come up here and turn your tank off. Once you've done that, the system's off. Stepping inside the trailer, to the left on the driver's side, you have your switches for your lights and your outdoor lights. On the driver's side wall, you have 4 outlets. I have my plug tester here. 2 lights indicates that it's good. 2 lights, it's good. 2 lights, it's good. 2 lights, it's good. Also on the driver's side, you do have 2 drops for 2 pieces of gas equipment, along with your cooking hood. Your cooking hood does come with filters up there, along with your grease trap, which is in that package right there on one of the filters. These filters need to be taken out and cleaned pretty regularly to prevent any buildup on your fan up there. So at least, at the end of every shift, or 2 to 3 times a week, make sure these are getting pulled down and cleaned. Along with the grease traps that run to the side right here, make sure those are being cleaned as well. Your hood also comes with fire suppression. We have 3 drops for the fire suppression. It runs over here to the control head, which is right here, along with your tank, which is mounted on your shelf up there. You're also provided 2 different grades of fire extinguishers, but worst case scenario, you need to activate your fire suppression. You'll pull this pin, smack that lever to the left, and then the fire suppression will activate, and then you should exit the trailer. Your switch for your hood is underneath that. Works that way. Has 2 lights that shut off with the hood. So you want to make sure that's on before starting your gas. At the front of your trailer, you have your 3-bin dishwashing sink and your single-bin hand washing sink. Right here in the center, you're going to see a small switch. This is for your water pump. If you're not using the trailer, or you're not going to be inside the trailer, I would go ahead and shut it off. But if you're using the trailer and you're going to be working inside of it, go ahead and leave it on. It will only activate once you've actually turned the nozzle like so. Not have let this warm up enough. Oh, that was very high. Oh, it's in Celsius. Sorry about that. So you can see right there it's reading about 114, and it'll gradually get warmer. I think I have it set to 120. Moving over to your hand washing sink. Both hot and cold water work. This unit does have AC and heat as well. Sorry. It's currently pretty warm right now here in Middle Tennessee. I've had this trailer running for roughly about an hour as I was cleaning it, and I had it set to 62. It's currently coming out at about 59, 57, 63, so pretty close to that temperature. I've also got the window open and the hood on, so that's going to pull a lot of the AC and heat out. On the passenger side, you do have a 2-pane concession window, along with a wall-mounted shelf and 3 additional plugs underneath that wall-mounted shelf. Come over here and test them real quick. 2 lights good, 2 lights good, and 2 lights good. So now that we're done with the trailer, we're gonna go ahead and shut everything off. I turned the water pump off. I've got the hood off. I would check the equipment before exiting the trailer as well. And then come over here and turn off all your lights. And the AC has a remote that you can shut it off with. I don't have the remote on me, but once the power is turned off, that'll shut off as well. Once everything's off on the inside of the trailer, again, double check your gas system. Make sure the tank is off to the regulator, and make sure your blue knob is out of line with the system. Once you've done that, you're good to go. This rear gate is removable. You do have 2 additional LED lights on the back porch, along with a single LED on the actual porch. The concession door flips down fairly easy with air shocks, closes with 1 hand. Concession table, kind of need 2 hands for, but you can figure it out. Pop that off like so, and you're good to go. Again, this is a 8.5 by 20 black with blackout trim, sitting on top of 2 5,200-pound axles with a 50 amp electrical package, extended tongue, generator platform, city water fill, hood, fire suppression, and liquid propane gas. If you have any questions, feel free to call. My name is Chris. Happy to help. Have a good day.